And you're looking at the numbers, especially what was released by COOPS recently, you're talking about that there are spaces of more than 500,000 more than 500,000 spaces at TVET institutions, but those that have been placed so far is 145,000. Well, there's explanation that intake of TVET continues to happen. But if you look at the transition, it's sort of a narrowing tunnel that very few will get to the university, but also there's a challenge of affordability. A few more may go to the TVET, but there's also a majority that may actually never get to that point. Are we doing enough to ensure that education is actually accessible at the point of post-secondary school qualification?
Yeah, I would actually challenge this model based on an equity question. If you look at the relationship between education and poverty, you realize that children of the poor are the less likely to pass. And so when you look at the ratio of allocation to university and TVET, actually it fails. Because it is TVET where we have poorer students, and it is where parents are expected to pay more. But even within TVET, you find that when you compare the placement of COOPS to university and to TVET, you find that as a ratio of capacity, university we have 55% placed, TVET we have 28% placed. The reason why we have 28% in TVET is because there is no placement of COOPS to the vocational training centers. So COOPS places in the national polytechnics, in the technical training institutes, but not to the, where now Governor Barchok represents his institutions, which are the vocational training centers. Yet, again applying the same poverty principle, it is those that get E's and D's that end up in the vocational training centers, and those are also the ones that are immensely coming from the poorer families. So this model actually will end up benefiting richer families more than poorer if you apply this principle. So I think we have to be committed to look at where do the poorest students end, and also take funding there. Because when we exclude 58% of those that are completing, because they cannot be placed by COOPS, they can't access loans, they can't access scholarship. What are we committing to?
Okay.